Okay, so here we are over the Sally corridor, flight level 230 at 250 knots, heading south in our A10. We're going to be recovering into Nellis, and given the weather, it'll be a ILS recovery into runway 2 on left. So, first thing to do, we'll get our jet set up, make sure everything is configured for the approach. So, if we look at the approach chart, we're going to be doing the HI-ILS localised DME Zulu into 2 on left, which have an initial approach fix at Arco. So we're going to be double check we've got TACAN and ILS set, 12 X-ray TACAN and 109.1 on ILS, all good to go. TACAN selected an MSP and plug in our initial heading. So Arco is on the 357 radial from Nellis, so reciprocal of that is 177, so let's go ahead and dial that into the HSI. There we go. And we're going to be wanting to be intercepting that radial inbound to Nellis. So we'll make a slight left turn. Just make sure we're heading the right way. Things have been a little bit more complicated today because of the reasonably strong jet stream winds up at this altitude. But the good side effect of that is we're getting ground speed over 400 knots. Okay, and we look at the chart, we can see that required altitudes for the approach at Arco is no lower than 15,000. We're at 23,000, so as we're landing, we might as well start dropping our altitude down. So we're going to pull the power back and try and line ourselves up on the inbound radial. Just flying off the instruments now, so HSI to get our position and heading, ADI obviously keeping the aircraft at the right attitude, and obviously cross-referencing all the time the airspeed indicator, vertical velocity indicator and the altimeter. At the same time, verifying, you know, with the engine instruments that the aircraft's running okay and everything else. So flying completely heads down now. Slow the descent rate down just a little bit and bring it back to the right to line up. With the wind coming from the west, we're going to steer slightly left of our desired inbound just to make sure we track nicely on the ground. Okay, airspeed's still a little bit high at 240, so we'll pull the power back a little bit more. Try and maintain around about an 1800 feet per minute descent rate. Okay, then we're inbound over Ronki now, so still back down to 15,000. Once we hit Wistow at 21 DME, we'll start a turn to intercept the 21 DME arc. So coming up on 25, which is over the head of Ronki. Bring ourselves slightly left of track, so we'll steer right to correct that. Passing through 18,000, so we'll go ahead and tune QNH. 29.77 today. So we're now on heights rather than flight levels. Start bringing our descent rate down. Okay, it's 23 DME now. We'll start a lead turn at about 22.5. Okay, there we go. So, left-hand turn now. To fly the 21 DME arc. Nice smooth 30-degree bank. And now we're on the DME arc, we can go down to 12,500. Turn rate's a bit high, so we'll pull that up. And we'll level off at 13 just to give ourselves a bit of a buffer. There we go. Okay, coming wings level. Just flying the arc now. A bit close, we'll extend that out a little bit. More power, speed's reducing. And obviously our next radial is going to be the inbound into 21, so we'll plug in 209. Now basically flying a nice smooth arc all the way around. And we can now descend all the way down to 8,600 if we want to. So we'll start doing that. Try and keep the airspeed around 200 knots. And the DME arc is coming round now. We're coming on to the inbound radial, so we'll increase our turn to the full 30-degree bank. And we're descending down now through 11,000, headed for 6. Okay, we're overhead Chris, so now we can drop all the way down to 5,000 for sheep for the next reference point. We're in the weather. Rate descent's a little bit high again, just to smooth that out. Okay, that's us headed down on the radial inbound to the runway. So we'll level it out now, and we'll flip the flight director on. And bring the ILS up. Okay, 60 in DME now, sheets at 13.2. Bring ourselves right. Let's follow the flight director now to get ourselves lined up. There we go. Accepting the inbound track now. Passing through 7,000. Okay, that's on the track. Okay, there's the I've got a vertical steering bar up on the ADI as well, so we'll follow that and just track ourselves in nicely. Passing through 5.5. Start pulling the speed back a bit more now. Try and get the dirty up at 10 miles. Throttles are idle. Coming through 5. Okay, it's 10 miles. Keep coming down. change the flaps. Four. We come down to 4,200 now. And full flaps. Hold about 150. Let's just maintain a nice slightly fast, slightly low AOA. Okay, so now we're past RWY. We can go all the way down to 3,200 for 3.2 DME. Airspeed's coming down now, so we'll start enter cross control region, so controlling the descent rate now with the throttles and speed with the stick. Passing through 3.5. It's 4 miles coming up. There we go. Slightly low, so I'll pull that up slightly. Okay, 3.5 miles now, so we're go all the way down to landing. Minimums for this approach 2,065 feet, so we need to be visual with the runway by 2,065. So checking the instruments now, continuing our cross check while also occasionally scanning up and making looking for the runway or the airfield environment through the mist. So we'll bring our speed down a bit slowly for approach. Looking for just slightly fast on the AOA now. You can see a little eclipse of the horizon coming up, so the airfield shouldn't be too far out now. Slightly high. Idle throttles. Let the AOE, the flight path marker sink a bit and bring us back on track. See little clips of ground coming through. There we go. There's the runway. 2,150.
Altitude. Altitude.
Now transitioning back to visual, bringing us in for a landing. On speed. Flare, kick the crab out, and we're down. Nose wheel down, full speed brakes, and roll it out. Job done.